Welcome. This is James Corbett of the Corbett Report with your eye-opener report for BoilingFrogsPost.com. When faced with the overwhelming evidence of the widespread systemic conspiracies that take place at the very highest levels of government, the general public has been pre-programmed to respond with the all-too-familiar retort, "But someone would have talked." This reasoning is sufficient for most people to return to their day-to-day lives. No matter how much documented information is presented to someone in such a mindset, they can satisfy themselves that there are no whistleblowers who question the official narrative of 9/11, or the actions of the NSA, or the involvement of government agencies in drug running, or any of the other well-documented examples of conspiracies involving the upper echelons of politics and the intelligence apparatus of the government. To these people, the mere uttering of the words themselves are enough to dismiss any mountain of evidence. But someone would have talked. The implication is that no one has talked on these issues, that no insider has ever stepped forward to reveal the uncomfortable truths of active conspiracy in the hallowed halls of government. This is, of course, an easy enough assertion to prove patently false.
Freres was seen filling out visa applications for people in the consulate. It was just absolutely incomprehensible to me. And people I talked to who had been there really didn't want to say much more about it. And it wasn't until I was out of the Foreign Service, when my appointment had been terminated for unspecified reasons, that I learned from three good sources. Joe Trento, the journalist, a fellow attached to a university in Washington, D.C., and a guy with expert knowledge on the Middle East who had worked for a government agency. They said, it's very simple. The CIA and its asset Osama bin Laden were recruiting terrorists for the Afghan war. They were sending them to the United States for training, for rewards, for whatever purpose, and then sending them on to Afghanistan. And most likely, the problems they had with the liquor at the consulate, large amounts of it disappearing, it being sold at very high markups, and so forth, was being used to fund this.
So anyway, John Walker Lind became the first capture in the war on terrorism. He also became the first prisoner in the war on Afghanistan. And he was also the first person tortured by the United States in the war on terrorism. So I had received a call about whether or not the FBI on the ground in Pakistan could question him without his lawyer. In the United States, you can't do that. You have to make people aware of what their rights are. Accordingly, being the ethics attorney for the department, I advised that they had to allow him his attorney. That was on a Friday. Over the weekend, the FBI interrogated him anyway.
Knowing what I know, and again, this was written 91 days before the attack, knowing what I know, I can confidently say that until the investigative responsibilities for terrorism are removed from the FBI, I will not feel safe. The FBI has proven for the past decade it cannot identify and prevent acts of terrorism against the United States and its citizens at home and abroad. Even worse, there is virtually no effort on the part of the FBI's International Terrorism Unit to neutralize known and suspected terrorists residing within the United States. Unfortunately, more terrorist attacks against American interests coupled with the loss of American lives will have to occur before those in power give this matter the urgent attention it deserves. Realizing more American lives are going to be needlessly lost, no one should expect me to consciously sit idly by and pretend to forget the things I know. By sharing what I know, the terrorism problems plaguing America may be corrected. Knowing what I know, I truly believe I would be derelict in my duty as an American if I did not do my best to bring the FBI's dereliction of duty to the attention of others.
You've been watching an excerpt of this week's Eye Opener Report. To continue watching the report, please log into BoilingFrogsPost.com.